Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog. Hope you are having an awesome day. We are back with the C8 Corvette, where I try my best to share what it is like to live with this car as an average Corvette enthusiast. Not every Corvette owner goes down on the tracks and does crazy things and races with it. There are some people that do some really crazy stuff. Today's video is a little bit not specific to the Corvette as much as it is about the mods that I've done to this car and how they've held up after one full year. I want to take some time and talk about the XPEL PPF that I've had done to this car, how it's held up, what it's actually accomplished on this car, whether it's truly worth buying, and also in this video talk a little bit about the 5-year CeramicPro package that I have on the car that will hopefully explain how the ceramic coating has held up and what the purpose of that is and why I love it so much. So first things first, why have I picked a non-sunny day to do this? This car captures on film a lot better when there's a little bit of overcast. The paint is a lot more clearer on camera, and since we are going to get up and close and personal with the car today, this is the best weather to do so. I have a full video breaking down pricing. I'd love to share that right off the bat and save people time, and unfortunately off the top of my head I don't remember the exact number, so you can check out the price on what the cost of XPEL and PPF mixed with the ceramic coating 5-year package costed me about a year ago from now. What we had done is we had the front bumper, the hood, the fenders, the headlight, the mirrors, and the full rockers running along the side of both sides of the vehicle hit with XPEL Ultimate, which is one of the best paint protection films in the marketplace. Overall, the XPEL has been great. None of the edges are peeling. You can see a really nice close-up here where the edges are all still very flat, precision kind of cut. I believe these are machine cut, pre-cut pieces that the installer has to carefully install. I imagine this bumper is a complete nightmare because I remember when they showed me the picture, they had like 30 different pieces on a table that put together the XPEL around the bumper. They do a wraparound job on the hood, so hopefully you guys can see it. Kind of the lip and the seam wraps like right around the edge and kind of fits right into here. In terms of the 1-year review, there isn't a single spot that's bubbled on the XPEL. Every single place that I look at the way it was a full year ago. And in terms of what it has accomplished, there's a couple marrings in the finishing of the actual paint where rock chips have hit the XPEL, but they have not gone through. I've counted a total of 9 there. Some of them are really small to show on camera, but the XPEL has done its job and it's protected this front end from getting pepper sprayed by little dings and nicks and whatnot. And trust me, if it can leave a blemish on this XPEL, then it's definitely going to leave a blemish on the clear coat of the car if the XPEL wasn't there. So again, I highly recommend considering getting the front end of your C8 Corvette XPEL because for some reason this car is a rock magnet. Only one rock chip really closely kind of coming in here. I don't know if the camera is going to do a good job, but on the entire car, that is the only rock chip that made it through the XPEL and into the clear coat of the car. But for what it's worth, I will tell you, if the PPF was not on the car, then for sure that ding right there would have been a lot worse than it is after the paint protection film absorbed the majority of that impact. And I'm not a fan of doing like the half hood XPELs where the line runs across for good reason, because dirt and debris kind of get on that line seam and it blacks out a little bit. So if you are going to do it, do the full wraparound on the hood. But again, you can see the headlights have held up really well, and that's the best part, is you want to protect the headlights. These headlights are super expensive. You're talking over $1,000 per headlight, so you don't want to have it get, you know, a rock chip or anything and you have the need to replace it. Again, the lines on the fender have held up perfectly. Overall, just a really fantastic job and a really worthwhile investment to protect this entire car for the value that it is. It's held up really well on the mirrors. The mirrors are a couple different parts: 1-piece, 2-piece, 3-piece, I think 4-piece. I think the rockers are a must because when I drive this car and there's little pebbles and stuff on the road, seashells, I constantly just hear cling 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 noises where stuff's hitting up against the rocker. And the rocker protection package from XPEL, which pre-cut sends the XPEL all the way up, like up to here. The seam line's all the way in here. Not the door, but it kind of comes up to here, and then that bottom piece rides up. And then additional protection here, but you can see there's a little bit of a black line here because the edge of the XPEL kind of absorbs some debris, which changes kind of the coloration of where that seam line is. The only place I've really had any issues is you can see right here, this one spot, because the pre-cut piece from XPEL comes up to the bottom of this body line, water is kind of always making contact with it, which I think makes it so this piece takes the most amount of damage. But I mean, again, just a little bit of debris that's gotten between the XPEL and the paint, but nothing too bad. But apart from that, the XPEL has held up fantastic in every way. And so if you have a C8, definitely worthwhile the consideration for the cost that it is between all of it. Again, the other video has the exact number, but I was like around $4,000 for the full XPEL and the 5-year CeramicPro package. In terms of the 5-year ceramic package, after a full year, again, it works really well. Unfortunately, I cannot demo the windshield for you guys because for those that follow, I got a ding on the windshield literally driving home from the dealership. And then I got everything done. The ding was really small, and then like 2 days later, after getting the ceramic coating done, driving up to get the grill guards, actually took another rock that pretty much just put a massive crack right through the whole windshield. So the windshield that's been replaced hasn't been ceramic coated yet. But in terms of the rest of the car, I'll interject some videos over here that'll show you. This car is about 2 weeks dirty now, and I think that's the best time. All the promotional stuff shows you how the CeramicPro works on a mint perfectly clean, washed and detailed car, whereas nobody shows you what it's like on a car that's been daily driven for 2 weeks, that has dirt, debris and grime on the surface, what the hydrophobic properties look like. So if you look at this side, you can see the water immediately just beads off. There's very limited sheeting. Again, the car is maybe about 2 weeks out from its last wash, and we just had a really big rainstorm, so there's a lot of acidity in the rain, which ultimately bonds to the surface. But you can see, even 2 weeks away from a wash, how quickly the water just feeds off and leaves this only kind of hydrophobic layer on the paint. Now this is a full year later. So we'll kind of do this passenger side over here. Put some water down, and then immediately it just all kind of comes right off. And again, if the car was washed, it would do even a better job. Most videos kind of show the car completely clean, so this process is faster, but this is on a dirty car, which gives you an idea of how easy it makes the C8 to keep clean, or really any car. Now I did do the wheels, so you can see the calipers and stuff. There's hydrophobic beads of water all over that, but let's add water to it. And immediately beads off. Taking a closer look, you can see it's just beads of water. There's no sheeting. Even the calipers, super easy just to wipe down and keep clean. And you can see here, most importantly, the calipers, like you can see the little bit of like black water marking. I can just rub my finger across it and it's just super clean. And so you can imagine with actual water and a microfiber towel how easy it is to keep the calipers clean, which even after a full year, the Z51 package produces so much brake dust that 50 miles and I need to wash the wheels, just to be able to hose it down with some soap and water and rub it down with a cloth instead of just kind of scrubbing up against it is so worth it. And just last night we had about 4 inches of rain come through here, and you can see how well the engine bay kind of dries and cleans itself up, because I did have the engine bay coated and sprayed with CeramicPro as well, and you can see like the hydrophobic beads of water. There's no sheeting, there's no like real watermarks. The carbon fiber looks fantastic. So when I am washing the car, I can afterward just hit it up with like a wet rag and some instant quick detailer, and it does a great job of keeping the engine bay clean, protected, and easy to wash, because again, this is the money shot at the mid-engine C8. And so hopefully both of this gives you an idea of how the XPEL and the CeramicPro have held up over the years. Even right now, while the car is sitting here, there's not a single spot where the water is sheeting or there's water spots. It's all just beads of water that come off as you're driving, as the wind kind of drags them off, or if you're drying it down. Makes it a lot easier to dry the car when a majority of the water has just kind of rolled itself off naturally. In terms of observed wear, I haven't seen any. They say a 5-year package. I, in my head, think that's like 3, decently good years. And then years 4 and 5 is massive degradation. So I will share over the years how, year by year, 2 years later, 3 years later, update how the CeramicPro is wearing in long term, as well as how the XPEL is holding up on the car, because some paint protection films after years ends up doing more damage to the car than it does good when you go to try to take it off. I don't expect that with XPEL. I try to avoid new kind of paint protection products on the market for that one reason, because there's no longevity tests. But XPEL has been on the market for years now, and they are quite frankly an industry standard, and I'm not paid to say that. I paid the full price that some customer that walks in. I got a good deal from the installer, but I paid for it as a consumer. Nobody really gave it to me like a manufacturer deal like some other YouTubers get. So this is my honest review, and XPEL is the standard for paint protection film. It's a majority of people don't even call it paint protection film and call it XPEL, which kind of speaks to the fact that they are the industry standard for paint protection film. And so I don't expect any issues with that over the years, but I will share if anything pops up. And then CeramicPro is a fantastic company. So many companies make ceramic products, but I've had CeramicPro on a lot of my vehicles, and it's well worth it, especially even if you spend the $100 to do the windshield and the 2 side mirrors. I can't quite speak to the wear on this car, particularly with the windshield, since it has been replaced, and this windshield is not coated, and even if it was, it wouldn't be for the full year. But I did have an Expedition Max Platinum that had a 5-year CeramicPro package on that, and after about 11 months when I got rid of that SUV and 20,000 miles of just driving through Michigan, Chicago, Canada through the winters with all the salt and debris, after 1 year and 20,000 hard put miles, The only wear that I had seen on that car in the windshield is when the wiper blades are dragging this way, and then when they change direction, the blade digs in just a little as it changes direction to drag back the other way. And the only wear that I saw in that car after a full year, and it's what I would expect with this car or any CeramicPro on the windshield after a year, is there was a little bit of wear where that blade changes direction, because it is digging into the glass just a little when it's making that directional change. So hopefully that gives some insight on the wear for that after a full year. And I know I received some flack from people saying, oh, you expelled it and then you ceramic coated it afterwards. What's the point of doing that? Ceramic doesn't actually protect the car from anything other than just small micro swirls and finite scratches when you're washing, whereas XPEL's job is to protect the paint from little dings and rock chips and impacts up to a certain point. And ceramic's job is to make the car paint look wet almost all the time, make the car easier to clean, make the paint hydrophobic so water is beating off and not sticking to the paint. Grime isn't sticking to the paint as easily. So the point of the ceramic over the XPEL is it made the car super easy to wash, and the XPEL protected all the paint in major areas like the front end and the rockers. And if this front end shows you, there's like, you know, like I said, 9 or 10 little marrings in the paint protection film that would have otherwise marred the clear coat, which is now protected. And the cost to paint that bumper the right way, take this front end apart and get it all painted, and even then run the high risk of the paint not necessarily blending and matching the rest of the car properly, would probably exceed the cost of what this XPEL ended up running me, which I think was what makes it a worthy investment. If your lifestyle and driving is like me and your C8 Corvette is a daily driver. Now, if you're just parking the car, you know, in a garage and it's only on the weekends and you're rarely driving it in inclement weathers, not driving it in the winter when there is salt on the ground, then maybe you can kind of get by, but I still say you're taking on quite a bit of risk on what is otherwise a supercar. And so just like that, hopefully you found this video informative. If you did, make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. If you have not already, definitely hit that subscribe button. And if there are any other questions, any specifics that you have around this product, either the XPEL PPF or the CeramicPro, let me know in the comment section down below. And I hope that you found this video informative and you took something away, and you can see how these products have held up over the course of the last year. With that said, this video is over, and as always, I look forward to talking with all of you in the comment section down below.